Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Vault Boy, coming with you with a little bit different of a video. But honestly, as I'm recording this, it's kind of late, so I didn't really actually have enough time to record a Fallout video and edit it and compress it and get everything ready. So I decided I would do a quick little review of Ant-Man, which Ant-Man's kind of the reason that I couldn't really do a Fallout video, because Ant-Man's the reason I wasn't here. I was at home to record it. Anyways, we're going to jump right into this. The story of Ant-Man for the movie. It was a good movie, really good movie, very comical. I highly recommend it. I had a lot of enjoyment for it. It's just a little under 2 hours. I think it's about an hour and 55 minutes. So we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna read y'all a description of how IMDb, I think it's IMDb, described it, and then we'll continue on from there. It says, forced out of his own company by former protege Darren Cross, Dr. Hank Pym, Michael Douglas, recruits the talents of Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, a master thief who was just released from prison. Lang becomes Ant-Man, trained by Pym, and armed with a suit that allows him to shrink in size and possess superhuman strength. Okay, so what we got from that is Hank Pym is Michael Douglas, and Ant-Man is Paul Rudd, obviously. Awkward silence as I correct my mistake. For some stupid reason, I thought Hank Pym was Martin Sheen. They don't really look alike at all, so I have a little bit of info written down here. It's mainly just characters, names, and stuff. We're gonna get into this. Okay, we got Ant-Man, who is Scott Lang, who is Paul Rudd. Now, normally, Ant-Man is usually Hank Pym, who created the Pym particle, which allows him to shrink in size and allows him to become Ant-Man. Now, something a little bit odd in this, the way it goes, is spoiler alert, by the way, spoiler alert, huge spoiler alert. In this movie, Hank Pym created the Ant-Man suit, and he was Ant-Man, and his wife was the Wasp. Now, usually in the comic books, Hank Pym is a younger guy, and he dates the Wasp. So, in a way, he's dating his daughter, some ways, It's weird. It's weird, and it'll explain itself a little bit later. So Ant-Man, or Paul Rudd, which is Scott Lang, he gets out of prison, and he goes and he tries to live a normal life, and he has some hardships. He gets fired from Baskin-Robbins because Baskin-Robbins found out he was a prisoner, and Baskin-Robbins finds out everything. So he goes. He's got a master's degree in engineering, I believe it was. So he figures out that it's going to be harder and crap to get a job at an apartment and pay child support and everything that he needs to do to be able to see his daughter, because his ex-wife told him that's what he has to do to be able to see her, to get visitation. So when he finally decides, he writes it down, he works it all out, and determines it'll be over a year before he can actually see her and get visitation. So what he does is he gets this tip from one of his friends who was also in jail with him, who was also a thief, and he gives this tip to Paul Rudd, and it's a tip to rob this old man's house. Well, this old man, after he goes in, he breaks in, he pulls off a big old heist. He cracks into the safe, and he finds the Ant-Man suit. He thinks it's just a motorcycle suit to begin with. Okay? So he takes it, he calls the heist a bust, and then he goes and tries it on later. Well, he accidentally hits the button, turns into Ant-Man, shrinks in size, boom, size of an ant. Well, Hank Pym this entire time has been watching him for months, possibly even years, I think maybe years, and he starts communicating through the headset in the helmet. So he freaks out, and Hank Pym sends him on a little, partially sends him, partially doesn't. He kind of doesn't really control it, but he has to go on a test run to see if he is worthy of the Ant-Man suit. Well, after he goes through this journey of down drain pipes and through water and runs away from Rat and hits a car, all this, he decides that he's going to break in and return the suit. So he breaks in, returns the suit, and when he comes out, the cops are there, and boop, they arrest him again. So, Paul Rudd's back in jail. So, Hank Pym controls the ants, and they carry in the miniaturized suit, and then poof, they shrink, or they hit it back up, and it full size. He puts it on. He escapes from jail. He goes back, and Hank Pym, who's Michael Douglas, he takes on a new protege in Paul Rudd, and trains him in how to be Ant-Man. Well, along this, he meets Hank Pym's daughter, who is Hope Pym, who is played by Evangeline Lilly, and she enjoys beating the crap out of him because she had martial arts training when she was younger. So she beats the crap out of him, teaches him how to fight, all this and that. And you find out that the reason they're training him is because a man named Darren Cross, which is Hank Pym's former protege, who is played by Corey Stoll, he is close to how do I phrase this? He's close to like finding out how to miniaturize stuff again. Because whenever Hank Pym retired from his company, whenever he was forced from his company, he took all his research with him and hid it away for several decades. So he's getting close, so they decide to pull on Paul Rudd, train him as Ant-Man, so he can sneak in, destroy the research, and take the Yellow Jacket suit. Which, Yellow Jacket suit is a little bit better than Ant-Man's. It can fly, it has particle beams or laser beams, one of the two. It can fly, obviously, because bees can fly. Anyways, where was that? They train him, and as they're training him, Yellow Jacket, who is Darren Cross, he figures out the secret to it, and is able to miniaturize this goat. Why he uses a goat instead of a lab rat, who knows? He's weird. So he finds out how to shrink stuff, and then he triples security on them. So then they have to pull in these other people, which is I didn't really get their names. They were just kind of side characters, but they were like Michael Pena and Tip Harris, T.I. He was in it, and then this third guy, he was playing some Russian computer hacker guy. He's nobody that I know. So they recruit them on. So now they're planning a heist to go into Pym Technologies, or Pymtech, to destroy the research, grab the Yellow Jacket suit, and blow up the plant so they can't reproduce their work. Well, before they can do that, Ant-Man has to go and get this signal decoy thing from a Stark facility. Well, Hank Pym's maps and stuff were decades old. So the facility he goes to is actually the Avengers facility from the Avengers Age of Ultron movie, where Falcon is training the new Avengers. So he finds Falcon there, and Ant-Man and Falcon have a big old fight. Ant-Man is, of course, Sam Wilson, who is, in real life, Anthony Mackie. Good character. Good fight. Pretty good fight. Actually lasted pretty decently long time. So he eventually beats him. He shrinks to micro size, he shrinks to ant size, gets inside his backpack, and disrupts it. So then he grabs the signal decoy, goes back, and the heist is back on. Well, they go to start the heist. They get in, and they... How do I phrase this? They get in, and they go through all their security measures. They sneak in a guy as a guard. He goes through the ventilation and the water pipes and everything that he needs to get inside the building where they tripled security. And he's about to get the Yellow Jacket suit. and poosh, Yellow Jacket pulls it out of the containment area that it was in and traps Paul Rudd in there. So what he does is he busts out of there, and by the time he busts out of there, Hank Pym's been shot, and him and Hope Pym start taking out the rest of the bad guys in the room, and Yellow Jacket has escaped to a helicopter on the roof. Well, Ant-Man goes after him, and they have this fight in the helicopter, and in the helicopter is when Darren Cross actually puts on the Yellow Jacket suit. Yellow Jacket looks really cool. He looks a lot cooler in the movie than he did in the comic books. In the comic books, he looks kind of stupid, to be frank with you. So they have this big old fight. They fall through the sky. They get shrink and trapped into a briefcase. They have this big old fight falling through the air, and they land in this backyard. Well, they bust out of the briefcase in the backyard. They have a fight. Paul Rudd backhands Yellow Jacket into a bug zapper. Funny. And then Paul Rudd gets arrested by the police. Yet again. And on the way back to the police station, a call comes in that that they're having a 460 or a 280, something like that. It's some police, dispatch code at the address of Paul Rudd's daughter, which the cop who arrested him actually is Paul Rudd's daughter's stepdad. So he turns the car around, he rushes back there. Ant-Man escapes from the cop car, goes up there, and Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket have a big old battle in the child's bedroom. Well, when he gets shrunk down, and he realizes the only way to be able to beat Yellow Jacket is to mess with his regulator and shrink down to micro size to subatomically phase through his titanium backpack, I would guess you would call it. Well, as he's doing that, he keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking into smaller and smaller and smaller until he becomes a subatomic particle and is forever trapped inside a shrinking pit. He's continuously shrinking for all eternity until he hits the subatomic universe, or the microverse. Well, he has these little discs that if you throw something, it expands, so he sticks that in his regulator, clicks his button, and he grows back. And that, I believe, is how they're going to put in Giant Man, which is also Hank Pym, or it should be Hank Pym, but apparently it will be Scott Lang, who is Paul Rudd. Okay, so once he shrinks back, he ended up saving the day. Yellow Jacket gets imploded, actually. He implodes upon himself, shrinks upon himself as his backpack got destroyed. So there goes Yellow Jacket. Ant-Man saves the day, of course. And at the end of the movie, Hank Pym, who is Michael Douglas, he asks him how he got back, because it's supposed to be possible. Well, Paul Rudd says he can't remember. Whether he remembers or not, I don't know. Honestly, don't know. So, he tells him that. He's about to leave, and Hope goes with him, walks him to the door. They start making out, and there's this whole funny turn of jokes there. Oh, yada yada. What is this? Oh, this is nothing. Yada. Anyways, he goes back, and he makes good with the stepdad, and he's able to visit his daughter, which is a good thing. Okay. Then everything goes their way. It settles down. They enjoy their life. Hank and Hope, they enjoy their lives. And then the credits roll. Well, as the credits roll, or as in Marvel movies, you always know after the credits there will be a short little video depicting the next, or a future Marvel movie, rather than, it doesn't necessarily mean the next. Well, in this little video, Hank Pym is talking to his daughter, and he goes into the room where the Ant-Man suit was originally when Paul Rudd stole it, and hits a little hidden doorway, and in it is an advanced Wasp suit that was advanced from from the prototype that her mom was wearing when she was fighting stuff, or when she was fighting battles and stuff with Hank Pym when he was Ant-Man. So, in the next Ant-Man movie, or maybe Giant Man, I don't know, it might be Giant Man, where he was able to grow back to normal size after being Micro. Anyways, in it, there will be an advanced Wasp suit, and Hope Pym will be the Wasp. Okay, let me just go back over some funny moments. It's really funny whenever he's learning to train. He learns to train with the ants and learns how to control the ants, and that part's really funny. He goes through the different types of ants he controls. It's really funny. He picks this one special ant, flying ant, that he really enjoys, and names it Antony. Not Anthony, Antony. I thought that was kind of funny. It's kind of funny, little twist of the words there. Anyways, my review, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a really good movie. Very comical. It's labeled PG-13. I'm not really sure why. There was violence in it. There was a little bit of language. I don't think it was PG-13 rated, but I would consider it. If you're a family person, go ahead. I'd take your family. If they're from like 9 or above, if they like comic books, if they're nerds like all of us, I think they'd enjoy it. It's a pretty good movie. It's really comical. It's got a lot of corny jokes in it. Paul Rudd, he actually does surprisingly good as Ant-Man. I didn't think he would. In like the comic books, Ant-Man is always this smart, super genius Hank Pym, but in this, they like switch around and give it to some thieving con man guy in Scott Lang, which is Paul Rudd, and they make him Ant-Man, excuse me. So it's a little twist up, and that just makes it kind of odd, but it makes it a good odd. Well, that was my review of Ant-Man. I saw it last night, I saw it tonight, but by the time this comes up, or by the time this is uploaded, it'll be last night. But I hope you guys enjoy it. If you enjoy this review, go out and go watch the movie. I know I spoiled a lot of it, but go out and watch it. It's still a good movie. I hope you guys enjoy the review. If you like it, I might do some more later. Usually I don't really go to the movies unless it's a Marvel movie or a comic book movie in general. But, maybe, who knows? Maybe things will change. But, thank you guys for watching. If you're a nerd like me, go ahead and check out my Let's Plays of Batman Arkham Knight and Fallout 3. If you enjoy those, go ahead and like and subscribe, because more of those will be coming out soon. And you guys have a great day. This is Vault Boy, out.